The ACC got screwed out of a college football playoff spot last year with Florida State after going undefeated and still getting left out and jumped by Texas and Alabama. What will happen this year? That is what I'm trying to figure out in this video. This video I'm going to be predicting the ACC champions, as long as some teams will have breakout years and some teams who will struggle. I think that Miami and Clemson will play in the ACC championship game, and I think Miami will come out on top. I've heard tons of good things about Miami this offseason, and I'm starting to buy into the hype. I think that they can run the table at the ACC, and I think they can win it all, ACC championship-wise. I don't think they can win the national title. But, I mean, hey, if they win the ACC, they get an automatic first-round bye and a bid into the playoffs, so anything could happen. So I am a big believer in Miami. And as we all know, the ACC is not all that strong, so I think even a decent Miami team could still win the ACC if they win the games they're supposed to. Clemson, the loser of the ACC championship game, I think will take a step up, but I still don't think that they're going to be the old Clemson that we're all used to who won national championships. They still got a ways to go, in my opinion, to get there, but I think they could very well make it to the ACC championship game, and they can even win the ACC championship game against Miami. I could totally see that happening. I'm just bought into Miami right now, and I think Miami will win it all. As for Florida State, the biggest news in the ACC, we already saw them lose to Georgia Tech, but that wouldn't have changed anything I thought. I expected them to lose to Georgia Tech. I think Florida State will struggle. They were not that good last year. They had a stud quarterback and a great defense, but their offense really does struggle, as you saw in the last 3 games without their quarterback. I think this year, with DJ Uiagalelei as their starter, they're going to drop a few games. They do not have the easiest schedule either. They already lost to Georgia Tech, and they play at home against Clemson, at Miami, and at Notre Dame. Those are 3 very losable games, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're the underdog in every single one of those games. I could very well see Florida State losing 4 to 5 games this year. And if that is the case, Florida State fans, get ready, because the whole nation is going after you. I am not high on Florida State. Ever since their quarterback got out, I was not high on them. And I just don't think that they're going to have what it takes to be great again, as they were last year. That being said, Georgia Tech, there's a lot of hype around them right now. I do not think that they're very good. Like, yeah, they're a good Georgia Tech team, but college football-wise, I don't think that they're going to make much of a wave. Now, they don't play the hardest schedule ever, but they do play Notre Dame, Miami, NC State, and they end the season off with Georgia, of course. I think that Georgia Tech will honestly be a 5-loss team. I think they'll lose to Notre Dame, Miami, Georgia, and then they drop like a Duke or a North Carolina, something like that. I think that win against Florida State shows more of Florida State being bad than Georgia Tech being good. Now, I'm rooting for you, Georgia Tech. I have nothing against Georgia Tech, but I just don't think they'll make huge waves, as their fans are probably expecting by now. A dark horse for the ACC, which it literally could be anybody, as the ACC is, as we know, not very strong, I think could be Duke. Duke had their strengths last season, and their quarterback, Riley Leonard, he's a good quarterback, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he's like a top-tier quarterback. They just brought in Malik Murphy from Texas, and I am a huge believer in Malik Murphy. I think a more mature Malik Murphy with a decently good Duke roster could really make some waves in college football. And I think they could make a push for the ACC championship game. I really do. Especially because they only played 3 ranked teams the entire year. Florida State, Miami, NC State. If they can beat Florida State, which, I mean, they very much so could, all they have is Miami. And that Miami game later in the year, I think could very well determine who's going to the ACC championship game. Now, I could be completely wrong, and I don't think they will quite do it, but I'm rooting for Duke. I'm rooting for Duke to win the ACC 100%. Now, they could drop a game to like North Carolina or SMU even. And if that happens, they're screwed. But that's just college football. That's why we love the game. At the moment, I have Miami and Clemson, who play in the ACC championship game, both making the playoffs. Clemson squeaking in at an 8 seed. because I think that they will be pretty highly ranked going into the ACC championship game. And that's a good showing for the ACC. Getting 2 teams in the playoffs, I'd be happy as an ACC fan if this was the case. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure I have a lot of people hating on it, maybe some people agreeing, but I'm always open to have discussions. If you did enjoy this stuff, make sure to subscribe as I grow my channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with the next news of college football. Let's go, man. College football is back.